Welcome to another episode of Football Tailgaters, where we talk everything about the NFL, including your picks for bets and fantasy. In today's episode, as usual, I have here with me Andy, the unbiased football fan, Yams, the Jets fan, and myself, Aaron, the Cowboys fan. And we're going to focus more on talking about bets this episode and about the waiver wire pickups, and also our Super Bowl favorites, very, very early Super Bowl favorites after week one. Who we think are our Super Bowl favorites, I should clarify. But let's start with, I guess, the fantasy waiver wires pickups. Week one went through. Obviously, there's going to be some very interesting movements going on in the waiver wire, as it always is when it's the first week, because that's when we start seeing these players popping out left and right. It's like, oh, hey, this guy had a really big day in this game or whatever with this team, blah, 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 and so on. So why don't we have you, Andy, start off first with who you think should be on the top of the list for people when it comes to a fantasy waiver wire pickup.
Yeah, definitely. So for the fantasy pickup waiver for week one, I'll start off with Josh Palmer for the Chargers. He was catching balls left and right from Justin Herbert, and he got a lot of points. So it looks like he's going to be a Josh Herbert favorite and a pass-friendly offense. So I would go ahead and pick up Josh Palmer. The second player that I would get on the waiver wire for this week would be Jeff Wilson of the 49ers. He's the running back. Now that their starting running back did get injured, he's going to be the starting running back as of now. So it's good to pick up the number one running back in the 49ers as a waiver. And my third player to pick up in the fantasy wire for after week one is Curtis Samuel from the Washington Commanders. He actually was a real one of the favorites of Carson Wentz to throw to, and he was also catching balls left and right. So he's actually going to be a really good, I guess, a number two from McLaurin. So it would be Curtis Samuel as a good pickup.
I'm kind of bouncing off the same thing as well. I would also put Jeff Wilson. He's pretty important. Good running back to pick up since Elijah Mitchell went down. He's available in most of the leagues, obviously, because he is a backup. Same thing with Curtis Samuel. He got 11 targets. He was a big favorite with Carson Wentz. And also, I think it's good to note Robbie Anderson was a favorite for Baker Mayfield, even though, the performance for Baker wasn't astounding or anything. But he was a favorite, and he led in targets with the Panthers. So that's something, or at least someone to keep an eye on for a wide receiver, since I know, for, I guess, wide receivers, there's more of them, and it seems it can kind of fluctuate a little bit more. But if you're obviously looking for a top running back, you always look for, all right, who's starting running back got injured, Hate to say that, hope it never happens, but it happens, It's part of the football, It's how it is. So Elijah Mitchell would be up there. And then I would put at the very last Jamal Williams, because he did get a heavy amount of carries along with DeAndre Swift, which, by the way, you guys owe me something, at least for just week one. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but he looked pretty good for fantasy. I was very excited. I do have him in one of my leagues. I know Yams has him in one of, I guess, our leagues. And, you drafted him because, from what you said, because I was talking highly on him. Right? I don't know if you were serious about that, but I'm on the hype train with DeAndre Swift, so I'm excited about that one. But, yeah, those are my waiver wire pickups. I would have Jeff Wilson first, obviously, because he's replacing Elijah Mitchell with his injury. So he's really easily available in most leagues, obviously. Jamal Williams, not so much. And then Curtis Samuel, he's pretty easy to pick up as well. And Robbie Anderson.
Those are good. Those are pretty good. And yes, Aaron, you were convincing on DeAndre Swift, I did tell you he's not a sleeper. I did tell you he would not last. So, I mean, it's your fault for not picking him up in the first round.
He was getting picked up pretty late in from what I've been seeing in like stats and websites and all that.
Well, what's
kind of
late
stuff.
for you though?
Second, like mid second round, late second round.
That late?
See, for me, that's not late.
I don't think he was going up that
So,
far.
well, I mean, from what I was seeing, obviously in our leagues it was different, right? But I was seeing in a lot of them in websites and stuff like that, I was seeing him kind of go either in like early second round and mid second round, which in the 12-team league can mean it's somewhere around the tier 2 running backs. And I personally don't think he's a tier 2. I think he has an upside of tier 1. He can be up there with, the usual of like Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor. It's Saquon Barkley. Man, he had a great fantasy week. I kind of regret not picking him up because he was pretty. He was similar to being like, because he has that upside of being a top 3 running back, right? He has the upside of being tier 1, and look at that, he was a tier 1 in week 1, and as long as he's healthy, it should be fine for him. But it's still kind of nervous because it is week 1, really early. Anything could happen. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. Hope the best for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my point was DeAndre Swift, I think I consider him a tier 1,
and
which in that case, he wouldn't be a sleeper.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, he's not a sleeper, but I think that he should go higher than usual. Like
Yeah, I mean, I picked him. I was in the 12th. That was the last pick, so I was going to go Mixon Swift. I
think that would be great, actually.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that. I went Devontae Adams and Swift, so I went wide receiver and then running back. So
how did Adams do?
He did pretty good. Like, he got me like 30 points
in a PPR league.
In a PPR league, right?
PPR, yeah. Just to clarify.
So your picks, you guys said Joshua Palmer.
Josh Palmer.
He is a good pickup. If you're in a deeper, like a 12-man league, I doubt he's available. There's a lot of good wide receivers that are available right now that you can probably, stash on your bench and see how they do. So one of them is Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think he might be a good pickup as a wide receiver if you're looking for one. There is also, you mentioned Robbie Anderson. He was targeted much more. He seems, at least in week 1, it seems like he's becoming one of Baker Mayfield's targets, even though he kind of said he didn't want Baker Mayfield there at the beginning on the off season. We also have a wide receiver in the Ravens. After Browns left, they don't know who's going to take over after he left.
I mean, we would assume they would have been Rashad Bateman, which I don't know who led in targets for that team.
His name is Duvernay. I'm horrible at names, by the way. Devin Duvernay. He led their league, not the league, but the team in touchdowns. So he might be something to look out. It could just be a week 1 thing because week 1 is crazy. So we don't know how they play out for the next few weeks. Another one to look at is maybe the Texans. Their running backs are we're kind of running out of running backs here in our league. We're in a 12-man league. So if you're in a 12-man league, I will look into Rex Burkhead. Damon Pierce came in super hyped. I don't know if he did good. Did any of you guys watch the Texans game?
Well, I did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I
mentioned
really
it in the
game.
Past podcast. It was great.
I didn't see Damon Pierce do anything.
Damian Pierce. Yeah, I did hear that Lovie Smith, the head coach, right? He regretted not giving him the ball more. Because he's supposed to be on the first string, right? The starting running back. And clearly you didn't really see that this game. And he did admit at the end of the game that he should have given him the ball more. And I think that's something to kind of reassure anyone that picked them up pretty early, right? I think it should be fine. But with Rex Burkhead being there, right? Because that's the He's a second string, right? Because I think the third string, I forgot who they even have for the third string. But it shouldn't be anything to worry about, at least, right? But I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll stick to just kind of like the split, not having a running back committee more so.
Yeah. So in that case, Rex Burkhead might be a good pickup if you are in need of a running back, and maybe you drafted someone like ETN or Tony Pollard.
And people are panicking
ETN
from
or
it.
Akers.
Is a slow roaster for the reason of what's been going on with Robinson and stuff.
Well, it's because Robinson is just playing really good, and he played last year. Like, he's a really good player.
So it's not a bad idea to have someone who's on a 50% running back that they might be sharing snaps, because one will explode in the other. So if you have someone on your bench that might end up being the explosive player, in this case it might be Rex Burkhead. I don't know how Damon Pierce will be, but I mean, it's good to have him in your bench if you are needing a running back. One that you did mention, all of us mentioned, is Jeff Wilson. I think it's an obvious ad, especially with the injury that the 49ers just went down with. We have also Zay Jones from the Jaguars.
I don't know about that. I did see him, but I'm not too sure. I wouldn't waste a waiver, depending on what position you are in the waiver. I wouldn't waste a waiver on him just yet.
There, like I said, there is a couple of wide receivers. We have options. So
this is assuming that the ones you previously mentioned are gone.
Right.
Yeah,
Joshua Palmer, I believe he's already gone in a lot of leagues.
I don't know.
He got picked up.
Did he get picked up throughout many leagues for the draft?
I think so. I remember him being drafted kind of late, obviously. I don't think he's that available in a lot of leagues. I think he might be like more than 50%, I want to say.
He's rostered in 35% of leagues, so I'm sure he is available in a lot of leagues.
In a lot of leagues, but if you're in a 12-man, he's not available.
I thought it was more than that.
No, and he caught 3 passes for 4 targets.
He's available in 21% of the league.
For a third string is not bad at all. It's a decent start for what they had in week 1.
And
didn't Keenan Allen get injured?
Yeah, he did. So it might be
because of his
bumps
hamstring?
up to number 2 with Keenan Allen being out.
Yeah, there you go. That's a very good pickup. Yeah, and Andy had him number 1 listed.
Yeah, he would be my number 1. I was seeing the Chargers game, and I wish I just had like a big room full of TVs, kind of like in a sports book in Vegas, and just have that in your house, because
there's so many good games on.
I'm watching one on TV, then there's another one in your iPad, and then another one in your other iPad if you're watching with somebody else that has an iPad, and if you have like another small TV to bring it into the room to watch like the local ones, and it's just it's crazy. I wish I had like a lot of games. This is the best time of the year.
Now, what about the whole Cam Akers situation here? A lot of people were hyping up again this season. He went first round in a lot of the leagues. And
I don't know what happened.
He got 3 carries for 0 yards.
In my draft tonight, for the main draft that I have, there was somebody that told me that they had a Henderson as a top tier running back. And I'm like, why are you picking Henderson? Like, it was like the 4th or 5th round. And he's like, because Cam Akers first of all, he didn't think that he was really that good, and he gets injured a lot. So he's like, Henderson is just a viable running back that they know that they can continuously use. So it looked like it did work right now for how it looks right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, they chose with Henderson, and a lot of people thought it was going to be Cam Akers. Henderson had 18 touches, and Akers, like I mentioned before, had 3.
And what I like about Sean McVay is that he's putting players that can produce. And even though you have like a player that might be really good and that people think that he's going to be better, but he's just putting the player that he can produce. And regardless if he were drafted or gotten free agency or whatever, he's putting the best players on the team, and that's what I really like about him.
Now, would you consider him a waiver wire pickup? What's his percentage on on availability. Oh, Darrell Henderson.
I don't
Oh,
think
he's not available.
He's not available.
He's not available.
Let me see.
I'm seeing here that according to the ESPN Fantasy,
46% only, actually.
46%.
That's surprising.
Yeah. So
I mean, if he's there, then for sure.
Well,
If he's
if
there,
you're in a
pick him up.
10-man league, he might be available, but if he's in a 12-man league, he's not available.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
yeah,
deeper
this is
leagues,
for
he's
10-man.
Yeah. No, 10-man,
this
yeah.
is for 10-man. If it's 12-man, he's most likely gone. But if it's 10, you
Have a
may have
chance.
hopes on that. Yeah. Now, would you put him at number 1 over Wilson if you're in a 10-man league?
Yeah, for sure. I would put Henderson
Wilson?
first. Yeah. I would put Henderson first ahead of Wilson for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depending who do they play next week?
Who?
The Rams. They play an easy team.
Do they? Well, you're the one asking the question.
Yeah. They play an easy team. I think that team is
Oh.
They play the...
49ers.
No, they play the Falcons, I believe.
Oh, the Falcons. Yeah,
So,
the Falcons.
yeah,
There you go.
I'll pick them up.
Yeah.
And then they got the Cardinals after, and then 49ers, and then Cowboys.
What's up with the Cardinals, honestly? They got destroyed by the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's Kyler Murray, guys.
It's that organization.
It's Kyler Murray.
They have so much dysfunction.
I
and
think it's more than just him.
I think it's a lot of egos around, and it's a frustrating team. And I said that before the league even started. It's a really dysfunctional team. The coach and the quarterback hate each other, and they probably have some dilemma with the GM, and the organization, like giving Kyler Murray a contract and then not giving a contract, putting clause that he has to study, and I mean then Hopkins got suspended. It's just a dysfunction team there. But they did extend the coach, which I don't know if I would have, but but I mean we'll see.
Might have been too early.
But again, it's week 1, so I'm not gonna just say like they're just awful for the rest of the season. But it was pretty surprising how they lost.
I'm seeing here that the Cardinals turf played a part in the injuries that the Chiefs had in that game. Did you guys see about that?
No.
Turf Monster's back.
Well, even with that, they destroyed them, so not even that could have helped them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was going to say, like, even with that, they had a great game. Mahomes with 5 touchdowns. I really wish I could have gotten him. He almost came down to me. But
How was week 1? How did you do in week 1 in your fantasy?
I got 2 wins and obviously in separate leagues, and then 1 loss. So I got 3 leagues, obviously, and I won 2 games and lost 1. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Andy?
No, for me, which the main one is the most important one because that's the one that has more value. I won that one, and then in the 2 other ones that I have, I lost. One I lost by like 10 points, and the other one like barely, but like 2 points or something like that. And it was all that debacle with last night's game, the Monday Night Football, that they didn't let Russell Wilson like finish the game.
The Broncos won me a game. I don't remember which one it was, but they had to stay afloat 6 points with their defense, and they did. I forgot which one that was, but it was close. I'm really disappointed with that game and with what I saw with the Broncos. Okay, so what about Super Bowl favorites here after week 1? Very early, obviously, but, why not talk about it? It's cool. We saw a glimpse of what teams had to start with this season. Who do you guys have as your Super Bowl favorites?
I know in a couple of podcast episodes ago, I said that I can't bet against Tom Brady. Just every time that happens, he ends up proving me wrong, and he always somehow finds a way to win. So I did say Tampa would win, or at least make an appearance in the Super Bowl. Now looking after week 1, it's still too early, right, to make these predictions. So way too early to make my prediction, but the Buffalo Bills look pretty good. But I don't think they get there. I think the Super Bowl might be Kansas City Chiefs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they did do pretty well
They did
against
good,
against the Cardinals, and they do. It's going to be very interesting, that division. And I mean, they have Patrick Mahomes. I didn't see that game, and I mean, it was being a demolished, so I didn't want to waste my time. I wanted to see more competitive games. So I believe they're gonna come up soon for a primetime game. So
Yeah, they played Buffalo on this Thursday.
I thought it was the Chargers that was.
Oh,
playing this
Chargers.
Thursday.
Yeah, sorry.
The Chargers against
Kansas.
Kansas or the Bills?
Was it the Bills? No, I think it's Kansas. No, it's the Bills.
It's the Bills. No, that's Monday night. The Bills against Tennessee.
So it's a Kansas.
Yeah,
then.
it's the Chiefs against the Chargers. So that's going to be a really good game then. We should confirm before we just saying just games out of nowhere. and it's not even true. Yeah, the Chargers against the Chiefs this Thursday is going to be an awesome game.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, super fun. I'm excited to see that. And that can show if your prediction is actually true, that they could go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we need
okay.
Against the Chargers.
And because the Cardinals, you can argue that maybe they're not a team to really fret about when it comes to a contender like the Chiefs. But on the other hand, with the Chargers,
yeah.
the Chargers, it's going to be their first actual real competitive game. That's going to be really exciting to watch. It's probably going to be a close one, most likely actually. I think I have I would like to say, after watching those games, for what I saw, the Buffalo Bills have something really scary cooking up. But also, not that far behind. I would put the Chiefs and then the Buccaneers. But I think I have the Buffalo Bills going. I think it's going to be Buffalo Bills and Chiefs in the championship, AFC championship, all over again, with the different overtime rules if it needs to be in that scenario. If it ever comes down to that, that's going to be really cool to see. I think I have the Bills here.
Yeah.
You have the Bills going to the Super Bowl and winning it?
Yeah, I think so. With that kind of defense that they have, yeah.
I actually completely agree with you. My week number 1 Super Bowl pick, after week number 1 Super Bowl pick, is the Buffalo Bills. They did a phenomenal job against the ex-Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams. They played super well on offense and on defense. They have everything. And even Josh Allen was just playing doing extra things that he shouldn't have to, that he could have injured himself, because he was just trying to just have fun. It looked like he was just gaining more and more points and touchdowns. They just look like a very complete team compared to all of these other teams that I saw in week 1.
Yeah, and fantasy too. Diggs, 26 points.
Oh, yeah, and Josh Allen got a lot of points.
Josh Allen, 31. The defense for Buffalo, 23.
Von Miller, what a great pickup. Awesome pickup.
Yeah, I think that's a steal right there, what was going on there. The Rams, I don't know, maybe they just ran out of cap space. But I think it was Von Miller more so having that decision because I think he kind of admitted to he kind of runs around in teams for looking for, a competitor that he think he can elevate and take them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Gabe Davis, their other wide receiver, just did a great job too. I mean, this team looks really good. And then they were using their running backs really well, Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. I actually drafted James Cook as a sleeper, so I'm just crossing my fingers for the future because I'm just stashing him because he is the brother of Cook from Dalvin Cook from Minnesota. So I'm thinking brother and brother, they should be doing pretty. They have the same genes. He should do well too. But so I'm crossing my fingers with that. But yeah, this team completely is doing super well. That offensive line did well. The defensive line, the cornerbacks, they did takeaways. No, a really that is a way, if you want to build a team, look at the Buffalo Bills right now. They're doing a great job.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now for this coming week, we were mentioning the Chiefs and Chargers, right? That's going to be an exciting game. So for the week 2 bets, what about that? Money line over under. what are your guys' favorites for doing bets this coming week for week 2?
I'm just gonna give my bet picks that I'm for sure banking on, that they're like a confirmation that you will win. And for this upcoming week, there's a lot of close games. So there's only one game that I would actually think that it's a for sure thing, and it would be the Buffalo Bills money line against the Titans. That one for sure. The Titans don't have too much to fight against the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills, like we just said, are a stacked team, and they're just ready on the offense and defense. That would be my pick for that. The only pick that I'm confident that will pass. Now, if you want to do a more risky pick, I would do the Buffalo Bills money line and under 49.5, because I don't think the Titans are going to be scoring that many points. And I'll even add there the Packers against the Bears under 42.5 as a parlay. That would be my risky bet, but for sure, confidently, the Buffalo Bills money line against the Titans. That's the only game.
For Thursday's game, I would stay away from it. I think it can go either way. If I had to choose, I would choose the Kansas City Chiefs. I just said that I think they're the Super Bowl winner. But I would just stay away from this one because they seem pretty even. If you want to make some no, just stay away from it. Do we want to go one by one on the picks?
I already did my picks. That's all for mine. Again, just full disclosure, this is not financial advice. I just want to put that out there. Sure. Not financial advice. It's just my opinions of how the bets are going on in Vegas right now.
So the Carolina Panthers and New York Giants, I say the Panthers will probably win that one. But again, that's a close game. I would stay away from it. The Miami Dolphins and Baltimore, I think this could be Baltimore winning this, so I would go with Baltimore. The New England Patriots and Steelers, I think Steelers take this one. The New York Jets and the Browns, I mean, we all know it's the Browns. The Bucks and the Saints, it's also a pretty close one. It's a team they struggled with. The Buccaneers always last year at least, have struggled with the Saints. So this one's a close one. I would probably stay away from it. But I've always I don't bet against Tom Brady. So I'll take the Bucks on this one. The Commanders and Detroit Lions. This also is a close game. I would probably just skip it. I don't know who's going to win this one. The Falcons and the Rams. I think this one's pretty easy. It's the Rams. I think the Rams get their shenanigans together for this week and they win. The 49ers and Seahawks. I don't have a lot of faith in Geno Smith, guys. I think it was just a lucky... What? He was a Jet quarterback.
You're just jealous because now he's doing good.
No,
he's doing good.
Well, he has a better coach with Pete Carroll, he does have weapons with Penny, DK Metcalf, Lockett, and also the tight end that scored as well.
He only did good in the first quarter. Anyways, I'm picking.
So you think Drew Lock would have had the same performance if he started?
I did predict that Drew Lock would get the job.
Yeah, because you have that bad taste of your mouth with Geno Smith.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think Drew Lock has had his starts in the Broncos. So, and I mean, hopefully Geno Smith does have a good, successful ride here with Seahawks. I just don't see it happening.
So, are you giving him credit for this game?
I'll give him credit for the first quarter of the game. He was great in the first quarter.
He got off to a hot start, yeah.
And the second half, he kind of lost.
And you might be right, because it's just week one. So teams will have that video on him of what he did and figure him out. There's going to be a switch. I'm thinking there's going to be switch throughout the season. I'm sure
there's no switch. It's going to be Geno Smith. So with that said, I don't think the Seahawks will have another win. The 49ers take it. And so I would take that bet. Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. This can also be a close one. I don't know what's going on with the Cardinals. I would just stay away from it. If you feel confident enough and you like the Raiders, then go with the Raiders. The Bengals and Dallas Cowboys. This is an easy one. I don't know why Andres didn't add this one. Or I'm sorry, Andy. I said your actual name. Andy, you should have put this one in your parlay. I would choose the Bengals.
Well, you're going through all the teams. Are you telling me that you would pick
Yeah.
all of these? Like,
I'm saying the ones I would not. I say I would stay away. I say it's stay away.
no, well, you should have just mentioned the ones that you think are going to be winning. You're going through the whole list here of all the games.
Well, you said bets.
Yeah, your bets, your picks of your bets.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
But you sent
Yeah,
you
no,
sent
like-
all the teams.
What do you-
No. You only said like 3 of them.
Yeah, I only said one confident pick from all of them because
Did
the other
you?
ones can go either or. Yeah,
Well,
I picked
Yeah,
the
I,
Buff-
it was
I guess I
Buffalo
misunderstood
Bills.
the topic or the memo, but I'm almost done. So
That's what I'm saying.
I'm almost done. So
Yeah.
let me just finish it
Yeah,
off
yeah,
here.
go for it.
Houston Texans and Broncos. If you want, I can speed it up, Aaron. Chicago Bears and Packers. Tennessee and the Bills. This is Andy's for sure pick, the Bills, and I agree. Minnesota and the Eagles. I will stay away from this one. Don't bet this one. I don't know what's going to happen here. So that's it.
All right, so
Well, you know,
gonna
for,
pick
for
my-
for the future, it's just the ones that you're confident that you would personally bet on, that you know that it's a for sure thing. For me, it was just one because all of these games that you were saying,
No
it
bets
can
are
go
ever
either
for
way.
sure things.
No, but you're more confident on some of the picks that your locked picks that would be for the
Well,
betting.
I don't see a point of betting for Buffalo and moving on with your day. There's no fun, and people who are gamblers have no fun doing that.
So you could
depends
say
on the
like, here are my
gambler.
confident picks and here are my risky picks. Like if you really want to go for it, because it's too close to call, but you're giving your edge to why you would pick certain team, or
Yeah.
over under.
Exactly,
That type
because
of stuff.
I did both. I picked up my lock, which is the Buffalo Bills money line against the Titans for them just to win, no spread or anything like that. And then the risky would be a parlay. You do Buffalo Bills money line under 49.5 because it's a Monday night, so it's a primetime game. And also the Packers against the Bears. That's a Sunday night. I said under 42.5. I would do a parlay with those 3, and that's my risky pick. And I'm saying it's under 49.5 because I don't think the Titans are going to be able to score that much, and the Buffalo Bills will be, but I don't think it'll get all the way to 49.5. And the Packers against the Bears, Green Bay doesn't have wide receivers, and they do struggle sometimes and early in the season, and then they figure things out with his wide receivers. And the Bears, I think the Green Bay Packers know the Bears and know how to control that team, so I think it's going to be under 42.5. So that would be my parlay.
Well, look. You gave me a task. I underpromised and I overdelivered. So what's the big deal?
No, that's fine. Just saying for the next time. Not,
For the next time.
just making it easier on you.
I would have to agree with Andy. Confident pick here is obviously Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans. I would obviously pick the Bills here. And I would go under for that. If I want to get something different as well, I would like to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints. I would choose the Buccaneers. I would go money line. And then I would actually, for this one, I would probably go over because the Saints do have a pretty good offense, high-powered offense with Michael Thomas, which he showed up.
I think he got injured, though.
No, I didn't.
He did, right?
I think so.
I totally forgot. I need to look at this.
Just FYI.
It says he's fine.
I don't think he got injured.
No, it says he's fine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're crazy. So Michael Thomas is fine. All right. So as long as he's healthy,
Psych.
I just checked.
Psych.
If he's healthy, by the way, great fantasy here. He went pretty late for some of them, right? He wasn't going like in the first. He was going like 4th round, I think. He was a little bit risky.
He's only
And then
29
they
years
got-
old.
And they got Alvin Kamara too, and Jameis Winston can deliver. So I think they got a really good offense here that can make them go over, which is, I think I can say pretty confidently they can go over on that one. And then for that one, I think that would be pretty much it. Everything else, like you said, it's especially for week 2, I always get kind of nervous about it because of what happened in the previous week. I'm kind of nervous about the Packers. The Lions, with the Commanders as well. On paper, Commanders are better, but the Lions, are the favorites here. Baltimore Ravens, Miami Dolphins, that's way too close. Games like that, Chargers Chiefs, they're way too close. But if you want to get risky, I mean, they could really go either way. I can't really think of a really fun risky parlay here. I will just go with the ones I mentioned previously. That's pretty much it. It's a tough week too.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a tough week, and the over and under, always screws you over. So
it does.
I really try to avoid those as much as possible.
Well, there's a statistic out there that for primetime games, usually 60% of the time it's under. I'm not too sure how.
I mean, that was right for yesterday and Sunday night.
And
right?
Sunday, yeah. So,
I don't know about Thursdays though.
Yeah, we'll see about Thursday. But that's something that's out there 60% of the time. I mean, and it's not like 80 or 90, but you can take your chance.
Good luck. I wouldn't follow our advice on this. Bets we're not very good.
No, it's financial advice. Not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. Disclaimer, not financial advice.
Yeah, we're not professionals.
No.
We don't.
By all means.
Yeah, we
completely amateur fans.
Super hard to hit on these, so.
Well, I would say that you, Yams, are more riskier when you're betting compared to
yourself,
Aaron and I.
Yeah, I am, because I don't like to play and receive $10 in payout. I just what's the point?
Well, no, bet more. Bet 200.
No.
And get $30 in payout.
No. I mean, fine. I just, for me, there's just no fun in that. And also, if I put $1,000 in the Buffalo Bills, that's also scary.
It is scary because anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Yep. It's the NFL on
it's
any given Sunday, so.
Well, this one will be Monday, so it's a lock.
Is it a Monday?
It's a lock.
It's going to be a doubleheader Monday. Tennessee Titans against the Buffalo Bills and Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that Monday is going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. Exciting.
For the over-under here, it's 50.5 for Minnesota Vikings and Eagles. The Eagles had a pretty good game. I think they're going to be NFC favorites here. NFC East favorites, sorry.
Yeah.
I think they're taking...
I had an opportunity to get Jalen Hurts in fantasy, but I just thought it was getting a quarterback too early. But in this one particular league that I'm on, apparently, and I didn't know this at the time when I was drafting, that the quarterbacks get a lot of points. So, yeah, I should have gotten him with that information.
You did good with Kirk Cousins.
I did good with Kirk Cousins, yeah, but I think Jalen Hurts is just going to be doing way better throughout the season.
I don't think so.
He has so many weapons, and he's a runner.
And Kirk Cousins has weapons too.
But he's not a runner.
Doesn't matter.
Well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully Kirk Cousins just explodes this year with that new coach, that head coach, the offensive minded. I'll pass, and
they could be underdogs here because they're. I mean, obviously they're not. Oh my gosh, where are they in the odds for a Super Bowl right now? They are
for Super Bowl, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for Super Bowl odds. I wonder how high up there they are.
Minnesota Vikings or the Eagles?
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings. Because the NFC is not that competitive.
Well, the Eagles are a favorite. They're 2.5 points ahead of the Vikings. So there you go too. And for the Buffalo Bills one, which was my lock, they're giving it's minus 10 points for the Buffalo Bills. They have a few games here that are just like too favorite, in my opinion, that they shouldn't go. It shouldn't be. For example, the Denver Broncos against the Texans, minus 10. I mean, the Texans they held their own against the Colts. So, I mean, there's a lot of risky picks here, but maybe looking in the spread wouldn't be such a bad idea. And just buy some points just so you can get some leeway there if you want to be bet a little bit risky. And then you have the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. They're also giving the Bears 10 points. And then if the over and under is 42, which is low, then it might not be a bad idea to get plus 10 Chicago and just buy some points.
And you got to look into, like, Chicago. If you're going to choose the spread and you go with Chicago plus 10, you got to look into Chicago against the spread. How many times do they win against the spread? And if it's a good amount, then go ahead and take the spread. But if you see that they're always kind of losing it, don't take it. So look at the stats.
Well, also, but Justin Fields is a big like asterisk here because it's his second year, and on week 1, it was a weather that you can't really say if Trey Lance and Justin Fields like their skills and their talent, because the weather played a lot in that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. No, you got to give them like 3 weeks to figure them out.
Yeah, and here's another one. The 49ers minus 10 against Seattle plus 10. I mean, I would stay away completely from this game, but that's a lot of points, and the over-under is 42. So, I mean, it's tempting, honestly. And then the Rams against the Falcons minus 10.5. They're giving the the Falcons 10.5. These high points are very tempting for week 2. Then the rest, I mean, I would stay completely away from.
Mm-hmm. Either way, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
It's going to start off pretty good. It's going to be a great week. Really good Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers, Chiefs, and then doubleheader on Monday. That's going to be fun. Me as a Cowboys fan, not so fun. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this team because it's just barely week 2. So much could happen. Fantasy, I'm looking pretty confident in all 3 of my teams. I think I drafted way better than I did in the past 2 years, so that's something to, I think, point out for myself. I went over with the drafting a lot of running back strategy in the early rounds. I was always trying to get 3 running backs so I can put in my flex, and I think that worked out pretty well.
It's not a bad strategy because the running backs was a smaller amount compared to the wide receivers.
Yeah, and I'm excited because in one of the leagues, obviously, but it's not that valuable. But it's still cool. I went and risked it all for Christian McCaffrey because for once, I got a pick that was inside the top 5. I've never had that before. And it was just so exciting, and I was almost like nervous about it because I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had it this high.
Picking Christian
and I was
McCaffrey?
number 2. Yeah, it was Christian McCaffrey, obviously Jonathan Taylor. And I was like, am I risking it all with Christian McCaffrey? And I did it because I was like, why not? This is my first chance I got to do this, and I did. And I ended up picking up DeAndre Swift with my second running back, and that was even better.
Nice.
So I'm pretty confident in that league for sure. And I got Jalen Hurts as my quarterback, and then my flex is Aaron Jones, which I was really disappointed with how the Packers handled the whole running game situation. A.J. Dillon getting more carries. He's a good stash for fantasy, obviously, but he most likely got drafted around like the late rounds in a fantasy draft. I always try to do whenever I get these starting running backs, I always try to get their backups. But every time I did that, it was always too late. I kept pushing it back. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm excited about that. What about you guys for your fantasy? Are you guys pretty confident in your teams?
No, not at all. I mean, it's hard to say because when you win the leagues, in my opinion, is with the late draft picks that you picked. If one hits, because the top picks that you get usually are dependable and you get like points from them, but from the later picks, those are the ones that actually help you get to the next level. And a major factor is like how well you pick up in the waivers. So that's very important in order to win the league.
Yeah, and it also matters the 12 and 10-man league, right?
Oh yeah.
And our top valued,
difference.
the one that us 3 are on, that's like the main
prize.
one, the top prize, that is a 12 individual league, and it's hard.
Yep. It's really tough. I was really nervous about that one. I think in that one I made a lot of like in the late rounds because it's 12 man, so a lot of good players are gone. I was making a lot of risk with like rookies and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't like Kadarius Toney, but people were high on him before the season started.
Yeah, I made a bad move when I got what's his name? I keep forgetting his name from the Cowboys.
Tolbert.
Tolbert. Yeah, and then I drafted him, and someone's like, I don't know if that's a good pick.
I got Romeo Dubs thinking he was going to be good because, I mean, who knows who's the number one over there with the Packers. I still think he could be really good. It's something that we kind of have to wait.
Yeah. I'm happy that I got Robinson.
Yeah, I have ETN. I'm going to have to start Michael Carter next week because ETN didn't show up for me. It's okay. I still won.
I think he might be like someone who might be good later on, depending on how it goes with Robinson.
You know, I told myself I wasn't going to pick any Jets players, and I ended up with Breece Hall in all of my leagues. I don't know what happened.
I was really nervous about that one. I don't know about that one. I wanted to get Elijah Moore. I think he was the only one I was high on.
As you can see how the Jets are doing, I wouldn't feel confident with any wide receiver from the Jets.
As of now, yeah.
As of right now,
I just give it time. Michael Carter's a good pickup. Breece Hall will probably be good. He's just a rookie. Elijah Moore is a good pickup. Again, it's just week 1.
How did Zach Wilson go from being maybe the starter from week 1 to, you know what, maybe half a season he'll come back or something? I know I'm exaggerating. It's just like 4 weeks or something. But.
Just how it is. It's just how the NFL is. Just how you mentioned and you made a video about it. Jerry Jones is a good liar. These coaches, they're good liars.
Yeah.
They just like to give false hope or throw off the opponent. In this case, it was the Ravens. I don't know if they're throwing them off. I mean, it's Joe Flacco. It's not like, ooh, we have a secret weapon. It's Joe Flacco. It's Joe Flacco, like pocket passer.
You guys are preparing for Zach Wilson, but hey, you're gonna have to change your game plan against Joe Flacco. And it's not like it's gonna be a major change. Like just gonna be attacking him normally, and it'll do its job.
He's like a statue, dude.
It's a statue.
He looks funny too.
Yeah, no, his prime times are over.
It's
so
over.
What the Jets were saying in the offseason that Joe Flacco was doing really well, like this is something that I've been seeing through not only the Jets, through other teams as well, that they hype up their quarterback or whatever, and then the season starts and it just plays horrible. Well, yeah, he's gonna look good maybe with your practice player, while you're practicing and your defense, but maybe your defense sucks, and that's why he's doing good. But then put him with a good defense, and it's gonna be horrible. They're doing different things to you, different maneuvers. So it's always good to have those practices against other teams so you can actually see if the quarterback is gonna be doing well. But that's something that I was hearing from the Jets camp, that Joe Flacco was being a really good.
Lots of hype, right?
Yeah, lots of hype.
Granted, the rookies did play really good. And I know Breece Hall had a fumble, but I mean, again, it's week 1, it's rookie.
After that, I didn't even see him at all.
Well, I changed the channel.
You did, but no, but even I said I have him in fantasy. There's not that many attempts with him.
How many? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, you know what? That's your fault.
Yeah, that is my fault.
It's your fault.
6 carries for 23 yards
and a
fumble.
I think
he got 6 receptions though.
League. What is it?
He got 6 receptions.
He will be. He'll be one. He'll be a good one.
Yeah, I'm
he'll
crossing
be
my
a good
fingers.
Pickup.
I'm crossing my fingers.
The league, I'm seeing that there's a lot of wide receivers available. Like it's open.
Yeah,
it's open, and one of these can be. Keep your eyes open. One of these wide receivers can be one of the reason why you win the fantasy. So, and the running backs, there's not much of them. So if you see one that's consistent, don't let go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's my advice.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I'm excited to see what week 2 has for us. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you to anyone who's made it to the end. We appreciate you guys so much. And don't forget to follow us on our social media with football_tailgaters on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We thank you guys again for listening, and we hope to see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you.